As predicted, the T25 does not fit in the spray booth. So what I'm gonna have to do after I finish prepping, I'm very close, I wanna redo that bit. I'll put another little skim in there, I'll tell you about it in a minute. Is I'm gonna have these doors, I'm gonna tape the doors to the back, and then I'm gonna put a sheet over the top and basically extend the length of the booth. So I'm gonna get this as close as possible and just bridge all the gaps with this sheet. So, you know, just extend the booth a couple of meters and hopefully it'll work. Where we're at the moment is everything is done, prepped, ready to go. Obviously it's very dusty, I need to clean it up, hoover it up or whatever. This bit, there was one little wobble there and I thought, I'm not gonna take the chance, I'll just skim that whole section and then run a block over it, ain't no bother. It don't take me 2 seconds to do it. So I'm gonna get a bit of guide coat on that, block that with 80, and then when I've blocked that, I'm gonna get the DA out with the vacuum so I don't make any more mess. And then all the 80 scratches that I've put into it, I'm then gonna DA it up to a 240 before I put the primer on, or a 180. I haven't decided yet, maybe a 180. So DA all of that and the sides, get that in the not the high build, but the epoxy filler primer, which is like an epoxy and a high build in one, which, you know, back in the day, it would be an epoxy coat and then scuff it, put your high build primer on afterwards. But with this, you can just do it all in one. It's fantastic. So I'm going to start with getting the block sanding done, and then I'll get the DA out, and yeah. Right, so I'm gonna start by taking this tape off, which I should have already taken off when the filler was wet, but I forgot. So, God damn it. It's all right, it's coming off all right. A little bit bitty, but it is coming off. Get that out of the way. And then I'll get a bit of guide coat. Now we've currently got the Indaza guide coat, the dry stuff. I'll be perfectly honest, there's loads of brands that sell it. You may as well buy the cheap one because it don't make a fucking difference. Just gonna whack a bit of guide coat on there so we can see where we're going. Not really necessary, but it's there, and I thought, you know what, we'll just go with it. It does help. And then I'm just gonna. This is a very old bit of 80 grit, to be fair. I might have to get a fresh one because that's just got to polish it rather than sand it. Let me go grab another one. Now, when I'm sanding, I like to use, at the moment, I use the Merkur sanding strips and the Pinkies blocks because you've got loads of different sizes, you know. They're hard, but they're not hard. You can get a slight, you can get a slight bit of flex to them. So on a panel like a T25, it's very handy because everything is slightly round. Nothing's flat and nothing's round. It's slightly round, like a fat goldfish. So it can be a bit of a pain in the arse. So the long blocks on these are very good because you can get a tiny bit of curve on it. I will link them below as well if you want one, Gavin Pink. So when we're block sanding, what we want to do is we want to work diagonal one way, yeah, complete that diagonally that way. And then we're going to come back and do it diagonal the other way. And then you can even go to the extent of doing it this way too. And this just minimises any risk of you getting any flat spots, any wobbles, leaving any dents behind. It's always better to be safer than sorry. Safe than sorry. You don't want to put no pressure on that. You're going to let the block do all the work, because when you start putting pressure on it, you warp it, you can contort the panel slightly and you'll end up with flat spots. But no pressure on it whatsoever. Let the block do the work. I'm literally holding it with my fingers. And then we're going to come in at a different angle. Again. And again. Put that little bit on the edge there. Oh, fucking hell. Get that little nugget in there out. And then we just got the crossover to work with. So I'll move the camera over here. Now this bit you especially want to be gentle with, because if you start sanding this, whilst you're sanding this, you're going to end up having another flat spot. So you want to try and keep all the weight of the sanding block off of this until you touch down, and then you're done. You see my hands are this side of the bridge, right? I don't want to accidentally put any pressure over here. And I think we are good to go. Now, one thing to note, when you are running your hands over an 80 gritted panel, it will feel lovely. It will feel like there is nothing ever wrong with it whatsoever. It will feel perfect. So, what you've got to do is get a bit of 240, just run over the top. You can do this with a DA, but I've not got the DA in it. So we're just going to run over the top with a 240, take the coarseness out of it, so we can feel less of the coarseness and more of the finish of the panel. I'll give that a quick little whip over. Yes, also I am aware I'm not wearing a mask, but I can't talk to you if I'm wearing a mask, so no hate in the comments, please. I'm doing this for you. We'll run over that with a little bit of scuff as well quickly. Just more to get the dust off than anything. So now this is a hell of a lot smoother. So now if I run my hand down there, I can feel for any imperfections. Now some people like to do this with their eyes closed because it heightens the senses in your hand. If there's anything you're questioning, close your eyes, go again. With your eyes closed, you can really focus on the sensation in your hand and feel for any of them imperfections. It just looks a little bit weird. So I can feel something right there. So what I'm going to do, give that another little tickle with the block, just very gently over the top. Very, very, very gently. In fact, I think it's that join there. Just a little baby tickle there. And then obviously give it another scuff quick. Go again. Oh, I seem to have magneted myself bad. That's brilliant. Oh, god damn it. Help. There we go. Right, so I've got the old Festal vacuum set up down there. If you can see that in the corner of the shot. Very, very good piece of equipment that is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, just before I do anything, I'll take that off. I need the interface pad anyway. But I'm going to take that off, put it in manual mode. I'm just going to hoover up all of this dust because I don't really want it flying into the booth. So I was going to hoover this up quick. Well, the worst of it. Put that on full whacker. Full whacker whacker. Get the old interface pad out. And push that on there. Stick the 180 on. I was going to 240 it, but it would appear the 240s have disappeared. I don't know where they're gone. So I'm going to go with the 180, which is fine, doesn't really matter. And let's get this D8 ready for primer. One thing I forgot to do is put some guide coat on it. I just want to make sure them 80 scratches are gone, because high build primer is not the same as it used to be. It used to be able to go over these scratches, bake it off, sand it, paint it, and bob's your uncle. But now everything just seems to drop back into these 80 grit scratches. So I'll put a bit of guide coat on there, make sure they're all gone. There we go. Now I would say a good 95% of them are gone. There are some in awkward places, but the high build will take that up. We just want to, any north facing panels, they're going to be hitting sun, make sure that they're absolutely true on a 180, because they are going to take the bulk of the sun heat. And then we're going to rub over it again, because at this grade you're definitely going to notice things that you wouldn't on an 80 grit. So there is a couple of tiny bits I can feel here. That's all kosher. This end, where is it? So that is definitely a problem. Also slightly dipped there, just slightly. So what I'm going to do, that's okay, I'm going to put a tiny little skimmer filler there and there, block it again and repeat the process. Now it seems long-winded, but you've got to keep doing this over and over again, because every time you step it up to a high grade it gets smoother and you will feel more. And we're going for perfection here, especially on this front end. So we're going to jump to that, get a little baby skimmer filler on it, sand it, cut the video for a minute because it's boring. Get that done, and I will come back when I'm putting the primer on, because that's half interesting, right? Especially with this fucking contraption I've got to build. So I'll see you in about half hour. Mate, that primer is dog shit. Dog shit. Obviously, I'm struggling anyway because I'm fucking, the situation is it doesn't fit in the booth and it's a pain in the ass. I've had to set this shit up. So I've got the pressure down quite low. Which I tried turning it up and it didn't make a difference. But that primer is so thick, it's like fucking glue. It didn't want to come out of the gun. I tried turning it up, the air pressure up, the fluid tip up, nothing changed. It ain't the gun because it's all fucking clean. I then put a tiny splash of thinners in it, and then it's the coverage is shit. So I've actually stopped. I'm not finished. Fuck that. I called the suppliers up and they didn't have the spectral stuff, the epoxy filler that I wanted, and he said, oh, I've got a replacement, I've got different stuff you could have. And everyone raves about it, it's meant to be really good. It fucking ain't. It's fucking shit. It's fucking shit. So, yeah. Next time I should just fucking wait and go with what I know, because I'll show you what it is. I'm not really one for slandering. I mean, maybe it's me, right? Maybe I'm just not getting on with it. But Promix, mix it CP's 399 with Promix Hard Nut Air Dry 2K CP 218, whatever the fuck that is. Would not recommend. Never buying it again. In fact, I ain't even gonna use that tin. I'm gonna throw it in a fucking bin because it's fucking. I'm pissed off now. Anyway, well, thanks for watching to the end. Hope you enjoyed me wasting my time, and I'll see you next time. Toodle pip. See you in a bit.